President Trump has all but promised a barrage of legal challenges the morning after the election. And now, according to ProPublica, his Justice Department is reportedly throwing out longstanding policy and giving prosecutors the right to publicly flag anything they even suspect looks like voter fraud, even if it means interfering with the election. In advance of potentially unprecedented legal showdowns, a Newsweek op-ed is warning that lawyers should be held accountable for their role in any post-election chaos. Joining me now is one of the authors of that piece, Tom Rogers. He's an editor-at-large for Newsweek, longtime media executive, and founder of CNBC. Tom, good to see you. I saw you on Morning Joe talking about this the other day, and it was given new urgency given this reporting by ProPublica. What are you concerned about if the ProPublica reporting is true that DOJ lawyers can flag anything they want?
Well, I'm worried that they're trying to trump up evidence, and they're trying to trump up evidence because it's looking increasingly likely that Donald Trump's only path to winning this election is stealing this election. And while some originally thought that was far-fetched thinking, it's becoming increasingly clear that all these challenges to mail-in ballots and the legitimacy of people voting by mail is something that Barr is now putting his shoulder against to try to prove that they lend themselves to fraud, use that to not only make court challenges, but to appeal to the state legislatures in the swing states, all of which just about that Steve just reviewed on his election board. Both houses of the state legislatures in those swing states are Republican. And the ability for a Republican legislature to challenge the Electoral College slate that Biden may have legitimately won in those states sets up a terrible potential path for a constitutional crisis.
You write in Newsweek, the state bar associations in the key swing states need to issue a statement making known that 2020 election-related litigation will be scrutinized and frivolous lawsuits brought to deprive citizens of having their vote counted will not be tolerated. How much influence does the Bar Association actually have with this?
Well, that's a good question, but they have disciplinary action over lawyers. And the point of that article was to say, hey, look, this is the most sacred right of any citizen, the right to vote. And to have lawyers out there leading the charge for the Trump campaign, trying to delegitimize votes, trying to take away that constitutional right of voters. And by so doing, leading the charge down a path of this whole illegitimate challenge to upset an electoral college victory by Biden is just something that state bar boards and state bar associations should not allow just to happen. They should warn against it. They should indicate that it's going to be scrutinized, and they should remind lawyers that frivolous actions and ginning up lawsuits based on frivolous actions is reason for disbarment or disciplinary proceedings. And I think that the bar in these swing states in particular needs to be reminded of that.
And so far, the Trump administration has claimed fraud in a number of different states, a number of different instances, and so far, none of those instances have come to fruition, have actually borne out the way that they have alleged. Tom Rogers, Tom, good to see you, and thank you so much for joining us today. That's going to do it for me today. If you are going outside and are in public and are close to people, please do wear a mask. If you're staying inside all by your lonesome or with your family, Eamon Moyadeen picks up our coverage right after a quick break.